Howdy, y'all. I understand my breakdown is a day late, but once again, I was there. This is the breakdown of Indy 500 Open Test Day 2. So, the track wasn't as busy today. It's a cat. Wasn't as busy yesterday. I'll be referring to that as today. Have anything to say? He said no comment. But it was still enjoyable. The field was still, or not the field, you still got a bit of that atmosphere, and it was very hardcore race fans that were there, which is always enjoyable. You can stop meowing for 1 minute. And a couple on-track incidents. Takuma Sato almost took out a fox. That was something for sure. 63 degrees is what it has reported as the weather for day 2. No chance it was that warm. Dude, it was so cold out. In the wind, with how strong the wind was, you were leaning like this if you were up on the mounds inside the turn, because of how hard it was hitting you. Let's see. So the big news from the day, after the rain delay in the morning, which it was storming in the morning, in the earlier morning at least, and then it ended up being a drizzle for about an hour later than I expected it to go. So that made the early morning session very short, but it made Catherine Lake's session very pronto. This needs to get done. She was allowed to run with the other cars after, like, with 10 minutes left in her session. She finally got that done. And then I was there when she finally completed her last laps to be ready. But that was the big, or one of the two big storylines, 3 really, of the day. See, day 2 testing. I'm gonna recover that. Once again, for the second day in a row. So maybe there is more speed there than presumed. Jack Harvey set the fastest no-toe lap at about like half a mile faster. It was at 2:21.112. Yesterday's, which he was also the fastest, was a 2:20.318. So actually almost a full mile an hour faster on average. But it's going to be concerning to me if Dry Rebel still has that pace come the actual month of May, because let's see, they've been on track 4 times. The last 4 times they've been on track, they've blown up 2 engines. Jack Harvey caught on fire during the open test. Not a light fire. He was leading a pack of cars, burst of smoke in the short chute, and they just straight up flames. I saw the Upshift and All About Indy Racing on Instagram talking about it. They do not think it is a concern. For me, I am concerned. You rarely blow 2 engines in 4 on-track sessions. Not only that, but then in the 500 they also had an issue where they ran out of fuel. So whether that was just straight up poorly timed caution, purely poorly timed whatever that made them run out, or if that was them miscalculating due to a systematic error. There's the cat. It's hard to say. But yeah, 2 mechanical errors, 1 team error is what I'll call the gas line, in the last 4 practice sessions. The only session that went clean for the entire team was yesterday, at day 1 of the open test. So if they are testing something out, something extreme with their engines, and that is why Harvey and last year Hunter Ray blew an engine, we're still yet to see. But other teams aren't blowing engines like this. We've had engine failures, not a complete engine fire, engine blowout. And then again, is it just a Chevy issue? And if it is, do these other teams running 3 cars need to be worried? For the Penske's, the Foyts, the Carpenters, do you need to sit there and worry, is my engine going to make it through the whole race when it can't even make it through? I mean, running 200 miles over 2 different days, that's concerning. And these engines haven't been running all year long. They are an Indy only team. But like I said, it may not be anything to worry about. It could just be poor luck, or they could be testing something out and know how to reverse it. But we also saw the benefit if they are doing something extreme to it, pushing it to the very limits. We saw what it can do, where Ryan Hunter-Reay would have won last year if it wasn't for the fuel line issue. Joseph Newgarden was the fastest in the afternoon session, posting a lap of 225.617. Okay, that is all the notes I had. Your top 3 for today. Overall, because I already said the no-toe leader. In third, the 10 car of Alex Palou. He posted a 225.272, which would have been second on yesterday's list. And then Joseph Newgarden, the 2 of Joseph Newgarden was in second overall on the day, posting a 226.223. That would have been the fastest time of yesterday. And then the rookie for AJ Foyt Racing. This is not a surprise. I believe I brought it up yesterday. I believe the 4 car of Kyle Collette is the best chance we've had of a rookie winning in the last 10 years. I think he could qualify 12th and have a better shot of winning than, what's his name? Than Robert Schwartzman had a winning last year. But he posted a speed of 226.381 miles per hour. That is impressive. But let's go to the full field combined results. And 2 things I'm going to say off the bat. The 2 teams I've seen getting hate online, the 11 of Catherine Lake and the 51 of Able Motorsports. I need everyone who's hating to take a step back, really look at the results. First, we know 3 cars at least have not brought their Super Speedway package yet. That being the 9, the 8, and the 10. Or 8, 9, 10. Have not fully brought it out. They're running basically all their stuff, but they have more apparently. What do they have? Still yet to be seen. We saw what they had. They had a race-winning car last year. They had a race-winning car. Not really in 24. I mean, yeah, it could have won, but 24 was really their worst year. But they had a race-winning car in 23 and 22 and 21 when Palou finished second. In 2020, it's almost like this team knows how to race at Indy. Because I already just went back for all the races this decade, and they could have won. I think they had like 2 misses in the past actual 10 years. 2 bad setups for their cars where they were not competitive. But we're going to go from the bottom. Catherine Legg, while her speed is disappointing, you have to remember, she was mostly running no-toe laps, or if she was in the toe, she was leaning very far back. This is her first day on track. where we can compare this to the slowest time yesterday, actually. Graham Rahal, yesterday, who's been in a car all year long, set a 219.331 mile per hour lap. Catherine Legg today set a 219.841 mile per hour lap. That isn't, that is better. Yeah, different weather conditions and whatnot. It is her it's her first day in a car. Yesterday, she just got to go out and do install laps. Didn't even make it across the yard of bricks on a timed lap. Cut her some slack. She'll be fine. Then the other thing I wanted to mention, the 51 of Abel. They are not super competitive outside of the draft. From what my eyes can see. But when you put them in the draft, they are a threat. They are, in my opinion, faster than a handful of cars, specifically most of the Rahals, if not all of them. The only one that really scares me there is Sato. Faster than Stingray. And another one I've seen getting hate. And yes, it may be time for him to retire. Ed Carpenter. Ed Carpenter has not raced in 11 months. He's not been in the car. So he goes back. This test is perfect for him. He gets 2 days in a row sitting in that car, getting to shake off the rust. And he will improve. I don't think Ed Carpenter's at the top of his game, but I don't think it's impossible for him to win either or have a good race. Last year we saw something unusual, where it was his first time being Indy only. And you saw that his speed lacked. He wasn't quite sure how to handle it, not having more races under his belt. Even though he would have gone into last race with Indy being his first race, he still would have had a chance to test and everything, but they aren't going to have him test if he's only doing the one race. But starting from 33rd was the 11 of Catherine Legg, the only car in the 219s. Starting the 221s, the 32nd, Louis Foster. 31st, Marcus Ericsson. 30th, Kevin Simpson. 29th, Christian Rasmussen. And that's the other thing. A lot of cars were running straight up no toe laps. They did not want to do anything with the toe. But then other cars were going out there and running in huge old packs. So it just depended. And some cars looked like they were going to run in the packs. But then once they were actually settled in the pack, they would peel off, go to pit lane. I noticed that a lot with Rasmussen, unless he was leading the pack. Or if it was just a, fresh off a pit lane pack, do a quick install lap, come back in. Ryan Hunter-Reay in the 31. In 27 of Kyle Kirkwood. 26, Ed Carpenter. 25, Nolan Siegel. You know what? I'm going to say it. That's a driver who needs to be worried. Hunter-Reay, I can say the same thing I've been saying for Carpenter. In Legg. Can't say that for Nolan Siegel. You've been in this car every single week of the year, and you are straight up struggling. And I think that he would be safe in a McLaren. But if he qualifies P28 again, how do you keep him on for the remainder of the season even? You have other drivers in the field you can put in that 6 car. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because McLaren has still yet to win a race with the 6 or the 7 car, or the 66, or the 17, or the 31. I'm not hating on McLaren, I'm stating facts. They are a 3-car team who needs to be a 2-car team or a 1-car team. Because since they moved to 3 cars, that first 2 years they're competitive. Like, they were not near as competitive. And I don't think they've ever fully recovered. But then we have the 24th, Stingray Robb. 23rd, Jack Harvey. 22nd, Graham Rahal. Also, Siegel was the first in the 222s. so I might have been being a little harsh on him. He was 4/10 of a mile an hour faster than Carpenter. I might have just went on a bit of a rant just because. But then we have Lundgaard in 21st, Schumacher, the rookie, in 20th. We've seen a lot of people act like him. I think he's the least likely rookie on the grid to win, purely because he's in a Rahal machine. I think he could qualify very well. I think he's very likely to end up like Robert Schwartzman, where he will not have the speed to stay up front if he does get up front, and he'll just be a bit flustered. I love Robert Schwartzman, but you could see the struggle that he was going through with that car. 19th, Marcus Armstrong. In 18th, Willpower, the first in the 223s. Then Dennis Hauger, Santino Ferrucci, Scott McLaughlin, Renus VK, Jacob Abel. Actually the first car in the 220. Oh no, that's Felix Rosenquist, the first car in the 224s. But Abel with a very competitive time. Like I said, he's just now getting back in the car. But more importantly for him, it's not him getting used to the car. He did this last year. He raced a full season last year. He has been off for 8 months now, but still, he doesn't have to put WD-40 on the gears to get him moving again. Same with Connor Daly. But this team is a new team. They haven't raced since 2022 with RC Anderson, because that was my first race. I know because I was cheering on the car once VK wrecked. But very competitive for the Abel crew. Still an unsponsored car. Looking forward to seeing that with some sponsorship on it, however. Then Rosenquist the first in the 224s. Grosjean and Rossi in 10th. I had to scroll up my list. Okay. Then we have Malukas in 9th. Dixon in 8th. Masato ran 7th. And then the first car in the 225s, Pato Ward. See, McLaren has the competitiveness in them. What I will say, we know Lundgaard, not an oval specialist. Siegel, not an anything specialist. Gonna get a lot of hate on by McLaren fans if they ever find this. But tell me I'm wrong. When you get to the end of May, and he wrecked out on lap 122 and finished 30th in the race. I'll not be specifying who's finishing behind him because my takes on that aren't fully developed. I could just tell you that's where he's going to end, or he's going to crash on the last lap like he does at every big race. In the last year, in front of Pato, we had Elio Castroneves. Monk still has to gain. And then Alex Blow in 4th. Connor Daly in 2nd. I guess some of these times are still the fastest time from yesterday. Oh well. Because that was Connor Daly's yesterday time. And then the 2 cars and the 226s, Joseph Newgarden and Caio Colette. Very impressive. Looking forward to the month of May. But before we get to turning left, once again, we're turning left and right at the Indy GP. Friday and Saturday of Mother's Day weekend, be there or be square. I know I'll be there, at least for the Saturday race. Maybe for Friday. Still waiting to see. But yeah, Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And when you're done with this video, go check out my Mono Posto video, unless that was out before this. And if so, go watch it again. Thank you all. Hope you have a good one. Goodbye.